And we are live. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Let's Talk Fishing Podcast video edition. And before we start tonight, I'd like to tell you that the Northern Illinois Sports and Outdoors Show is going to take place January 13th through 16th of 2022 at the Lake County Fairgrounds. That's in Grays Lake, Illinois. Come on in there, guys, and walk into the Grant Rods booth and tell them Jay sent you. Now, what I'd like to do is introduce my guest. My guest is a guy who's been with me since the very first when I started.
That's the beginning, Jay.
First, yeah, the beginning. I mean, we pretty much started out together. My podcast started out when Vector Lures was very, very early in its development, and I was just starting out as a podcaster. And I met with Vector Lures, and Jeremy Maye was one of the first guys I had on. Without further ado, I give you Bassmaster Open Pro and Vector Lures Pro Team member Jeremy Maye. How you doing tonight, Jeremy?
Hats off to you guys. Thanks, Jay, for having me on this evening. Appreciate it.
Yeah. It's always good to have you on again, man.
Oh, yeah.
Even better to have you on the video podcast. I'm really liking this new format.
Yeah, definitely different. But, I'm going to deal with it, and we're going to roll the punches. I really like this StreamYard. I've been watching all your podcasts, Jay, and
thank you.
I really like it. So,
I would like to announce, guys, that a good friend of mine and Jeremy and a lot of you out there, John Stoutenger, was in the hospital yesterday with COVID, and I talked to him today. He's feeling a little bit better, but he's going to be shutting down his podcast for a little while.
Yeah.
While he heals. He's been sick for about a month.
He actually he went home today.
He went home today. Thank God.
Yep.
You know?
And I was giving him a hard time, and I would just send him some funny video, just kind of take his mind off it a little bit. So he'll be all right. He's in good hands. Miss Constance is going to take care of him. Promise. Actually,
JCX Fishing.
Yep.
Just said Pie Man.
That's it, Mr. Pie Man. No, I am the Pie Man. He's the Cookie Man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I burn the pies, and they make the good cookies.
Uh-oh. Well, anyways, John, we were just talking about you. I'm glad that you're tuning in.
Oh, yeah.
We're all praying for you, man. We hope that you get better very quickly, and we wish nothing but the best for you, John.
Yep, that's right.
We wish nothing but the best for you. I've been there. I've had COVID. It's horrible.
I had it too, man. Last January I had it. And it knocked me. I was in the bed for 3 days. It's almost like the fourth day I got up, like I ain't been sick, and I went straight to work on the fourth day. And that was kind of maybe premature, but I had to get out of the house. I couldn't do it anymore. I'm very hands-on. I have to be moving, doing something.
Well, you know what it did to me? COVID put a chain of events into play.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling, and it ended up with me having to get my aorta replaced. And now 6 months later, I'm still in incredible pain. So
that's it. You look good, though.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep.
I appreciate that. Looks can be deceiving because I'm really not that
good. Come on, Jay. You don't give yourself enough credit, my friend.
Well, Jeremy, where are you? What trail are you going to be fishing next week? Next
year. I'm actually going to be fishing 3. I'm going to break the bad news. I've already broke the bad news to my social media. Is that I know you opened this up with the Bassmaster Opens Pro, and I've actually withdrawn from all the Opens this year.
Okay.
Here's the reasoning. I signed up for all 3. 55 minutes on the 17th. It was at 9:55. I signed up for all 3 of them, and it went about a week or 2 went by, and I emailed Chris and I said, "Hey, Chris, what's going on? Where I'm at on this day? I haven't got my confirmation email yet." And what ended up happening was I was on the waiting list. I was number 44 on the waiting list on the James River on my home body of water. I was 29 at Chesapeake Bay, and I think I was somewhere in the low 20s or low teens somewhere at Lake Oneida. And I was like, okay, well, let me give it a couple of weeks, see what happens. So I emailed Chris again. And I think I came down to like 30th spot on the James River. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have to withdraw. I just told him, hey, give me my money back. And, I'll find something else to dive into. So, but it kind of broke my heart, man, because I've been with the Bassmaster Opens for 5-6 years now. I fished the co-angler.
Yeah.
I've started out the co-angler side for a couple of years, and I jumped into the pro last year. And it didn't put a bad taste. I just didn't get there early enough. It's my fault, nobody's fault but mine. And apparently the Opens are a hot commodity right now. So maybe next year I will definitely I've actually signed up to get a lifetime membership because you actually get early entry into the tournaments.
Okay.
So I paid the additional fee to get that. Go ahead and get me a lifetime membership, and hopefully next year will be a different story. So.
Wow. So where are you going to be fishing instead?
Well, I'm going to be, the John Boat Elite stuff.
Sure.
It's probably the cream of the crop in Virginia and the John Boat side. There's a lot of big hammers that actually fish in the John Boat stuff. Everybody, they take the time in their off season to go ahead and fix their boats up like I'm doing now. I don't know if you guys have been following along at German Fishing or whatever, but or even my YouTube channel. But I've actually been building my John Boat from scratch. I bought a $200 John Boat. It was just pretty much an empty canvas. And I've actually been able to build it how I want to. I'm building my own casting deck, my own live well setups. This is the third one I've done. So, I'm very familiar with. But, one thing different this year, Jay, is I've actually started aluminum welding. And I tell you, if anybody's done any kind of welding whatsoever, aluminum apparently is the most difficult one to do ever out of steel and any kind of metals.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah. So I jumped right into it, feet first. And I'm learning a lot, man. I really am. And I'm about, halfway done right now with the build. So it's coming along nicely. Got me a new upgraded Tohatsu 9.9. So
you ought to look at Slay Nation, man. They have the small vessel series.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Right there is Jeremy May's YouTube channel. So I wanted to put that up there for a little while, so people can.
Yep. And if you guys notice too, is on there, I've got a link. It's called School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
And it's something. It's a brand I'm getting ready to start. I'm probably going to go into. It will actually go into fruition next year. But I've actually put the post out there about a year ago, just trying to get some traction. And what the School of Hard Knocks is going to involve is going to involve of hands-on. When you have you want to. It shows you all the trials and tribulations that I've gone through. It shows you some of the stuff that you can't buy in the stores. It just shows you in general of the hard way of doing it, man. The School of Hard Knocks, So
yeah, the process you had to go through to gain this knowledge.
That's right. So it didn't come free. That's for sure.
Well, that's what the School of Hard Knocks is, because hard lessons are lessons that are learned well.
That's right. So,
and some of life's lessons hurt more than others.
Oh yeah. And then also with the John Boat Elite, I think there's 7 tournaments. We're fishing a lot of the northeastern part of North Carolina and Virginia. There's going to be a lot of, I think there's like 5 river systems in there that actually go out into the bays. And then we got Lake Gaston's, which is a big impoundment. It's a 2-day tournament.
Yeah.
And then in the mix of that, then we have Virginia Elite 70s. Actually, if a lot of you guys are not familiar with the Virginia Elite 70s, we got, Steve Camp. He's a director there. He's a phenomenal guy. And Jason Prosnick, Woo Daves, some of those big time names, this is where they cut their teeth at. This is where they started, Cody Pike. I don't know if you guys heard of him or not, but there's a lot of guys out there, Brad Webb, some really good hammers that actually learn how to fish, in this entity right here. And, they're doing very well. So it's a very group niche of guys. And I think there's 5 tournaments. And don't let your guard down in Virginia Elite 70s, because they will disappoint you in a minute. So
we have another comment by John Stoutenger, who says, sounds better than your cat.
Okay. Thanks, John.
I don't know.
John and his dry humor, you have to understand him. Sometimes I don't even understand it, but I just go along with the punches.
Oh, he's a good guy. I don't. Yeah. I was kind of surprised about the Bassmaster thing. Oh, he says new build. Your new build, I guess he was referring to.
Yeah, don't tell me, John. I might put Bass Cat Jr. on the side or something. Who knows?
Ooh, that's what he was talking about. Your Bass Cat. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
So, but yeah, and now also I'm gonna be fishing the Cat Trail. It's a local team trail. I think there's like 5 or 6 tournaments in the area, And I'm pretty much gonna be staying locally this year. But the only time I'm gonna be traveling out of town this year is gonna be going to Lake Okeechobee. We're going to Headwaters, January 22nd through the 25th. And then from the 25th through the 29th, we're going to Lake Okeechobee. And Mr. Vector Hooks, JB, is going to be my co-angler. And we actually have a convoy of John boats going down there to tackle the headwaters in Lake Okeechobee. So
you're going to be competing?
There may be a little, side bet, friendly wager on the side. But other than that, it's just going down there for fun fishing, flipping some mats, and actually enjoying the scenery of Florida, just going out there and doing what we'd like to do best is fish. So whether it's competing or not.
Sure. Wow.
So
that's what you're going to be doing this year, is just doing the John Boat Series stuff. Yeah,
pretty much. There's a couple BFLs that are locally here on the James River. I may dive into those. So I'm just gonna go with the flow this year, Jay. Just to kind of, I'm actually primarily gonna fish in the John boat stuff, just to dial in my techniques. Master some things that I've kind of been a little not sloppy on, but I haven't really mastered yet. So I'm gonna primarily dive into that. So I think I need another year to actually do what I need to do. So
okay. So what's new at Vector Hooks?
New at Vector Hooks this year, we actually have a brand new saltwater lineup that's coming out in 2022. A whole new series of saltwater stuff. We actually have some new bass hooks, larger sizes, 6/0. Some of the flipping 6/0 EWGs, even some larger tornado trebles and things like that. So there's actually a lot going on right now. There really is.
You coming out with any new lures?
I think they're primarily focused on the hooks right now. Okay. I know with this economy and things like that, I think they're trying to stay pretty streamlined on the hooks, and there may be one or two different types of hooks going on. I'm sorry, lures that may come out in the mix, but right now they're primarily streamlined, focusing most of their efforts on new hook lines. So
sure.
Yeah, I know Brett Wadley. He's coming out with a signature series hook. I can't release that yet, but I know by February it will be released, and it will be a very hot ticket. I promise you.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
So
why don't you show us? Why don't you show us your favorite technique for catching bass?
Jay, that is a tough one, but I'm gonna show you one of my favorites.
Show us a technique that you enjoy using.
All right. So my favorite one right now, actually year round, is the swim jig.
Okay.
It is a very versatile bait.
Look at that thing there, man.
So this is a 3/8 ounce swim jig paired with the KBD Rage Bug on the back. The Menace, I'm sorry. And that is my go-to. And I catch them. I mean, the water can be 50 degrees, or the water can be 70, 80 degrees.
So that's a Strike King.
It's a Strike King. Yep.
And who makes this? Who makes the?
And actually, Vector will be is coming out with some of the swim jigs.
I knew they were up to something.
So
y'all at Vector never stand still.
And also, there's a buzzbait coming out by Vector, and I'm actually working on engineering that one right now, designing that one for them as we speak. So I've actually had a couple modifications I've had to make to it.
See, I told you.
So
Vector doesn't stand still.
Oh yeah.
Never move forward. Go big or go home.
That's right.
Go big or go home. Do you have any other techniques you'd like to show us or discuss?
Let's see here. What else I got here? Of course, old tried and true. This time of the year specifically, flat side crankbait, balsa bait.
Flat side square bill.
It's a flat side. Yeah, it runs about 8 feet, but I run most of mine on 6 to 8 pound test.
Mono.
And I throw number 4 tornado trebles.
Do you use mono with that?
Nope, I actually use fluorocarbon.
You must
So
have clear water.
it's a smaller diameter. I can actually get that bait down to probably 8 to 10 foot, where most people are throwing it on 12 to 15, and they're running that 6 foot zone. So I like to kind of try to get down between 8 to 10 foot zone.
Interesting. And what would mono do as opposed to that?
Mono actually, it's a larger diameter, and it floats, so it's kind of restriction the water column, so it allows that bait to actually stay higher in the water column. So when you're this time of year, you're trying to maximize your depth, and that is key. Smaller profile baits, maximizing the depth is very, very important.
That's why I like using mono down here where I live, because it's just so shallow.
Mm-hmm.
And
here in the James River too, especially when those fish get around those trees, this time of the year on the James, they might get up in that 2 to 4 foot zone. So what I'll do is I might take the same type flat square bill, but I'll throw 17-pound on there to kind of keep that bait higher in the water column. Does that make any sense? So it's not diving too deep. So I will throw mono too.
All kinds of things you can do, like reel it more slowly. Or you even get
no, actually, I'm trying to get that core reaction bite, man. I burn it.
Okay.
Like if anybody follows along with like Tactical Bass or whatever, they have their DD crank, and they're using an 8-to-1 burning that crankbait. It's all about the method, the cadence. It's just a crank, pause, crank, pause, crank, pause. You know what I'm saying? And so it's more of a cadence issue. So those fish are going to have a core reaction strike in the wintertime.
Okay.
So
interesting.
And a lot of guys who crank or even use the jerkbait or whatever, they understand what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I've done a lot of jerkbaiting. I'm from the north, and we started jerkbaiting as soon as we get our boats out on the water. First thing we started doing.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays the way we used to look at it is it had to be painfully slow. If you think you're going too slow, go a little slower. That's what what we were being told. And now I saw Hank Cherry, a couple of years ago win the Bassmaster Classic, and it was cold water he wanted in, and he was burning that thing in March. And I'm like, wow, that's good.
Yeah, this year, for some reason or another, man, the water temperature is like 55 degrees right now, and it's just the jerkbait bite is not there. It's non-existent. I have not been able to catch a fish on a jerkbait yet. Usually when the water gets below, probably in the hovers of the mid 40s, between 40 and 50 degrees is when my jerkbait bite actually turns on. So.
And it just has not been there this year, huh?
It has not been there, man. It hasn't. It's still been on like reaction baits and, dragging baits, mainly drop shot and dragging. So.
Wouldn't you consider a jerkbait to be a reaction bait?
It is, but it's more of a sight feeding bait. You know what I'm saying? So they're actually the cadence actually creates the strike. So in other words, but it's all sight feeding versus reaction is they use more of the lateral lines.
Yeah.
So.
Because I've actually caught smallmouth bass in cold water, just letting the jerkbait sit there and suspend.
Yep.
And I didn't believe it could happen, but the guy who told me was a writer for the In Fisherman magazine, and Matt Straw, he's one of my favorite all-time writers, and I actually got to talk to him in a bar up in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin one night. And I talked to him for like 4 hours about everything fishing, and he told me that. He says, he'll throw that out there, crank it down, light a cigarette, sit there and smoke on it. All of a sudden it starts going off to the left, and it's on.
Yeah. Well, we actually in one of the rivers here by the house, a very short window of the winter time, we actually have a smallmouth influx from the north. They actually come down about mid river, and I've actually been able to catch some decent smallmouth up there, and it's been very fun. So
okay, we have another question from Mr. Stoutenger.
Oh Lord.
He said, "What's the best knot for the Mayhem flipping hook?"
Depends on how thick your cover is. If you're throwing really, really heavy cover, you need to just throw a unit knot. Okay. But if you're throwing kind of wide open vegetation or, around wood and stuff, you want to throw the snell knot. The reason why you don't want to throw the snell knot in really heavy cover is because the way that weight actually hits the top of the hook, it'll actually catch when it's coming back through the mat. So you want to actually throw something that doesn't cause that hook to actually come up at a 90-degree angle.
Okay. So when I went out with James Simmons, we were punching, and we were using the snell knot.
Yep.
But we down here we punch through you don't punch through real heavy cover. You punch through the water lilies or the hyacinths, whatever you probably call those hyacinths over in.
And sometimes I use the Palomar knot too, depending on the type of how thick the vegetation is. It's kind of sparse and it's not I'm not really punching and it lands on top and then it takes a second to go through. Versus something that you cast out there and you just go straight through with a 3/8, 1 ounce or whatever. That'll really dictate what knot that I'm actually using. So.
Okay. Wow. Well, that was a good question there, John Stoutenger. Thank you for asking.
Way to go, John.
God damn. God. You crack me up, man.
Well, the wife is leaving the garage. Excuse the noise for a second.
Yeah. That's funny. Hey, man, life happens. Life happens. So as we were talking about them.
Sorry about that. The wife is sitting there staring at she have to go to the grocery store. So.
Sure. As many things as y'all have, I'm sure she does.
There you go. There we go. All right, we're back now.
Looks like we have another comment. John Stoutenger was telling you that was a good answer.
Thank you, John.
Okay, so you were talking about the smallmouth influx from the north on the James River.
Actually, no, it was the Nottoway River.
Okay, the Nottoway River. Yep. Okay.
So what happens? I guess it migrates. The smallmouth actually migrate with the bait. So when there's the bait actually move up and down this river system, they probably stretch it 15, 20 miles. So primarily wherever the bait's at, that's where the smallmouth is, and they're pretty heavy. There may, 1 week they may be in a 500-yard stretch. The next week they're going to be gone. So you just have to track them and kind of figure out where they're at. So, but they kind of set up in the same areas, in the inside of the channel swings.
Sure.
Facing the current.
Inside bends, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes on an inside bend, the water can be going opposite the way that the rest of the current is going. Sometimes you get an eddy.
Yep. I look for eddies. That's my number one key. Eddy with deep kind of ledges or drops, as you call it. So
any current break like that. Yeah.
Yep. Current's good, man. Current's your friend.
If you have two current breaks like an eddy and a ledge, fish are going to be stacked up in there.
Oh, yeah.
And also, JCX Fishing says again, Jeremy can cook. Keep him out of the oven. You're never going to live that down, man.
Nope. Never going to live it down, but it's okay, though. I deserved it. It's my own fault. Nobody but mine.
Yep, that's your sins. Deal with it.
So I'm going to get my next jersey. It's going to be on the back. Instead of May, it's going to be burnt pie, just for John. Okay.
Burnt pie, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could be like that dogs thing where, I burnt the pie. You have to walk around with a sign around your neck.
Yeah. Yep.
I burnt the pie.
Yep. So.
Well, hey, man, would you have anything else you'd like to talk about?
Not really. I mean, I just want to give a big shout out to a couple of my sponsors, other additional sponsors.
Please do.
Kisselcraft, custom rods. If you guys are not familiar with them, they're used the MHX blanks. They're phenomenal rods. Every one of them are great. I don't have any problems. They have all the way from the heavy flipping sticks all the way down to the finesse jerkbait rods, your finesse crankbait rods, drop shot rods. I mean, they have it. They have a dialed in niche, and it's check them out on the www.kisselcrafts.com, and tell them I sent you over there.
JCX Fishing says much love for you, bro.
Oh yeah, you too, my friend. Again, stay away from the donuts and get out there and do some exercise.
And get well soon, John.
That's right.
Okay, so you were at Kisselcraft with your shout outs.
Yeah, Kisselcraft and Vector Hooks, man. Those are my two deals. I don't have anybody else right now. And I got a company right now that I'm working with. I've been working with about 3 months now. Before I actually, start giving shout outs, I like to go through the Mayhem style of trial and tribulation, if it's going to work for me. And then I'll approach them and say, hey, let's work out something and go from there. So, but right now I've been very impressed with it. Going on my 4th month in. So
there's what he said to you.
That's right, John. I appreciate you, my friend.
That's cool. I learned how to do something.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so those are your three partners, huh?
That's him. That's him for right now.
I like that.
And I got Jay. You're one of my partners, whether you like it or not.
But I like that because you're not a Velcro pro.
That's right.
I'm sure you've been around long enough to know what a Velcro pro is.
Oh yeah.
So that's good. That's good, man. That's good.
I fish and I fish hard. I fish, religiously, Saturday, Sundays. Sometimes I fish, Tuesday, Thursdays, depending on the weather conditions and if work allows me to do it. And if I believe in stuff, I'll keep using it. If I don't believe in it, it's not working. Then I make a change and I'll figure it out until it's working for me. So
well, that's great. It's
going to be a good year this year, man. I can't wait to post the John boat build. I mean, I'm very excited about it. And I've got a lot of different. This boat's going to be fast, man. Considering it for being a 16 foot, it's going to be light and fast.
There you go, man. And you learned how to weld aluminum. Good for you.
Yep.
That is
in a short period of time.
Do you have any welding experience?
None. Zero.
You just got on YouTube and learned how to weld.
No, actually, I bought a welder and I was like, okay, I'm going to start welding. And it started messing up. I mean, I was having some problems. I mean, I couldn't get it to work right. It was spooling. It kept jamming up and whatever. So I reached out to some friends of mine, asked for some guidance, some help. And, they gave me, okay, you make sure it's clean, try this, try that. And I did that. And, with those pointers, man, I kind of I had to figure out the welder itself. That was the biggest key, is getting that welder dialed in. And once I got it dialed in, man, it's been like cut and dry.
There you go.
So,
there you go, man. Well, thank you very much for coming on my show, man. I know that you're a very busy man. Jeremy runs his own landscaping business. He also has his own sports team of kids. And
oh yeah, yep, 5 deep.
5 deep, man. Geez, he's got the infield and the outfield baseball team covered.
That's right.
There you go, man. There you go.
Yeah. First of all, man, I didn't give you a shout out, man. I appreciate everything you're doing. I've been following with your StreamYards and your podcasts and everything since day one, and you do a phenomenal job. And I love the guys that you have on there. So keep it up, man. Keep that head high, and like to see what you got coming on next. So,
well, thank you, and let's all pray for our friend John Stoutenger that he has a speedy recovery. He seemed like he was in pretty good spirits tonight.
Oh yeah, he'll be all right. He's communicating, so we're good.
Yeah. And in closing, I'd like to tell you that the Northern Illinois Sports and Outdoors Show is going to take place January 13th through the 16th of 2022. That's going to be at the Lake County Fairgrounds in Grays Lake, Illinois. That promises to be one jam-packed, full sports show, guys. They have a lot of talent there. They got walleye panels, they got speakers, they got booths, they got charter boat captains, boat companies, fishing guides. They got the Goose, they got MC Norris.
Yep. And also, I think that Line Cutters may be there too. He's a partner with Vector Hooks.
Really?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to reach out to Darren Green, man.
Yes. I believe he's gonna be there from what I heard.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to reach out to him. That's well, wow. Well, thank you very much, Jeremy. And
all right, Jay.
I'd like to thank everybody. Stick around, Jeremy. I'd like to thank everybody for listening to the Let's Talk Fishing podcast. Again, my name is Jay Angel with very special guest Jeremy May.
Peace out, guys.